Uncharted 4 was released in 2016 and seems to be the finale of the amazing story of Nathan Drake. It surprisingly lost the Game of the Year, but it put up a good fight to Overwatch. And it is actually one of my favorite PlayStation games. It lives up to the hype in every possible way. Let's move on to how exactly this game managed to impress so many people. Uncharted 4, first of all, has some amazing visuals, and the world really does come alive through Drake's adventures. Uncharted has always been known for having top-of-the-line graphics with the release of the PlayStation 4. Sony needed a game to stand out and have a lifelike graphics and mechanics. Uncharted titles are a console seller and are also a well-known game genre. It really does feel like what a top-of-the-line Indiana Jones game would feel like. Nintendo's head, I would say, is Mario. PlayStation's many is none other than Nathan Drake. The world itself is somewhat linear, but there are always more than one way to complete a challenge. Unless it's parkour. They really only want you to take one path as far as that goes. Moving on to the story. Uncharted 4's story is by far the best Uncharted story, as well as I think it might be my favorite story in any video game altogether. It kind of felt like a really long action movie, in the best way possible, of course. The story is filled with interesting points of view, lies, deception, and a whole lot of action. The main villain is not entirely what you may call present in the start of the game. It seems like Drake caught his first break in 15 years. However, this of course could not be further from the case. The story actually starts off on a cliffhanger that pans into when you were a kid, which then leads onto another cliffhanger. This creates a lot of questions and without much of an explanation for anything, which is exactly what you want when creating a video game. The story does have its share of twists, none of which overloaded or sunk the value of any one character to my surprise. All the characters were written very well as the voice lines that obviously had a lot of work put into them. And best of it, it answers all the questions about all the characters I had. And it wraps up all the story arcs surprisingly well and unobtrusive to the past games. You can tell that the developers were not playing around or just trying to make a quick cash grab. They created a story worth telling. This tendency is somewhat rare with big game developers nowadays. I'm glad that some stick to quality instead of quantity. I'm looking at you, EA. Moving on to the gameplay. Uncharted 4 runs extremely well. I have not had one problem when it comes to lag, and no bugginess as far as I know. I'm glad such a great looking game does not have any problems when it comes to that. The Uncharted series as a whole has made many revolutionary mechanics that change the way that games are thought out and made, such as using the vibrations in the controller to indicate danger or gunfire, as well as the music really does help guide the story. Often the game indicates situations through music. And this is an extremely clever way to indicate safety or danger. One thing this game captured a whole lot better than its ancestors is your team actually works together. They do not feel like they're extremely worthless like the previous 3 games. Some things did not change, like the climbing and awesome parkour. This at times can be a little repetitive. However, the landscapes help combat any boredom I may have had before. As well as they added grappling hooks into the mix, which does really help change up things a lot. And there actually is a whole lot of realism into the climbing Nate accomplishes, surprisingly. Speaking of traveling, there are a couple of vehicles which you get to experience, being the boat and some sort of amazing off-road car, both of which feel extremely smooth and well put together. Honestly, they feel better than some driving games that I've played. And if that's not saying something, I'm not sure what will. This really helps make the world feel less linear, which most Uncharted games I think have really struggled with in the past. Uncharted 4 has many new interesting ways to play, but still sticks to the roots as far as gameplay goes. It truly is the perfect way to end the perfect series. Uncharted games encapture the joy of treasure hunting and the high stakes that come along with it perfectly, and is a console seller in my opinion. Now, all that's left is the rating. I will give Uncharted 4 a 10 out of 10. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and please subscribe to my channel for more content like this one. And please remember to have a good day.